You meet someone new. They tell you their name. You smile and nod. 30 seconds later, it's completely gone. Not fuzzy. Gone. And the worst part is, you were paying attention. You were standing right there, looking directly at them. So what actually happened inside your brain? Your brain is not a recorder. It doesn't capture everything equally. It runs on a system of priorities, and names sit near the bottom of that list. When your brain encounters new information, it immediately looks for meaning. A job title gives your brain something to grip. A personality trait does too. Even a shared experience works. But a name is just a sound. It's an arbitrary label. It has no story behind it, no emotional weight, no connection to anything you already know. So the brain hears it, registers it briefly, and lets it go. The information simply doesn't feel important enough to keep. Now think about what's actually happening
During a first introduction, you're scanning their face. You're deciding whether to shake hands. You're searching for the right opening line. You're monitoring how your voice sounds. You're wondering if you're making enough eye contact. Your mental bandwidth is already at capacity. Psychologists call this divided attention, and it's one of the most reliable ways to guarantee information never gets stored. The name arrives at the exact moment your brain has the least room to receive it. There's also something deeper going on, something most people never stop to consider. Human beings evolved over hundreds of thousands of years, and during that time, faces were absolutely critical to survival. Recognizing whether someone was a friend or a threat was life or death. So the brain developed an entire dedicated region just for processing faces. Names, on the other hand, are a relatively recent invention. The brain never built the same infrastructure for them. So when you remember a face clearly but can't recall the name attached to it, that's not failure. That's your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do. Now here's the part that surprises most people. Those who struggle most with remembering names are often the sharpest thinkers. Analytical minds, deep thinkers, people with very active inner lives. Their brains are rarely running on a single track. While someone is introducing themselves, part of that mind is already somewhere else, categorizing the person, anticipating the conversation, replaying something from earlier in the day. This mental overcrowding weakens the encoding process, and the name gets completely lost in the noise. So if you constantly forget names, it might actually be a sign of a very busy, very engaged mind. The final piece is about how memory is actually constructed. Your brain doesn't store isolated facts well. It stores networks, connections between one piece of information and another. When you meet someone and immediately link their name to something vivid, a rhyme, a mental image, someone familiar with the same name, your brain suddenly has an anchor. Without that anchor, the name floats freely. And floating information is always the first thing the brain chooses to release. Forgetting someone's name says almost nothing about your character. It says almost nothing about your intelligence. It says everything about how memory actually works. And once you truly understand that, something shifts. You stop feeling embarrassed. You stop blaming yourself. And you start working with your brain instead of against it.